It was a Tuesday in the late Cretaceous, 66 million years ago. The world was lush, vibrant, and teeming with life that had dominated the planet for over 106 million years. The air was thick with humidity and the sound of insects. To the inhabitants of this ancient Earth, there was no warning, no sign that their reign was about to end. The food chain was intact. The apex predators walked with absolute confidence. It was a masterpiece of biological evolution, balanced and brutal. But high above the atmosphere. A rock the size of Mount Everest was hurtling through the vacuum of space. At 45,000 miles per hour.
It had been traveling for eons, a silent assassin in the dark.
As it breached the atmosphere, the sky split open.
For a split second, there were two suns in the sky.
One gave life, the other was here to take it away.
The silence of the prehistoric world was shattered, not by sound, but by a blinding flash of light that outshone the sun itself.
The moment of impact happened in what is now the Yucatan Peninsula.
The asteroid struck with the force of 10 billion atomic bombs.
In a fraction of a second, the asteroid itself was vaporized, along with the bedrock beneath it.
A crater 20 miles deep and 120 miles wide was carved into the crust of the Earth instantly.
The energy released was so catastrophic that it turned the ground into liquid. The first casualty was the atmosphere.
A shockwave of superheated air expanded outward at supersonic speeds. Anything within 600 miles of the impact zone was instantly incinerated.
The might Tyrannosaurus Rex evolution. The armored Ankylosaurus, the herds of Edmontosaurus.
They didn't even have time to register the pain.
They were simply erased from existence.
For those further away, the horror was just beginning.
The impact launched trillions of tons of debris back into space. Molten rock, glass, and dust were ejected past the atmosphere.
Only to fall back down under the pull of gravity.
As these billions of tiny meteors re-entered the atmosphere,
The friction turned the sky into a global broiler.
The air temperature spiked to hundreds of degrees within minutes. Forests across the Americas spontaneously burst into flames.
It was a global firestorm.
The dinosaurs that survived the initial blast were now facing a wall of fire.
Panic set in.
The instincts that had served them well for millions of years.
To run, to hide, to fight.
Were useless against a sky that was burning.
The larger animals, with nowhere to hide, cooked alive where they stood. Then came the sound.
The roar of the impact finally caught up to the light. A sonic boom that circled the globe multiple times.
Deafening anything with ears.
The ground shook with a magnitude 12 earthquake.
A seismic event so violent, it tore continents apart.
And triggered volcanic eruptions thousands of miles away.
The earth itself was ringing like a bell.
In the oceans, the displacement of water created a mega tsunami.
A wall of water over 1 mile surged outward from the impact site.
It swallowed coastlines whole, erasing beaches and cliffs instantly.
Dragging the marine reptiles, the mosasaurs and plesiosaurs.
Into a churning washing machine of mud and debris.
Even the deep ocean offered no sanctuary. The shockwaves killed plankton and collapsed the marine ecosystem.
From the bottom up.
As the first day turned into night, the fires began to die down.
But the terror did not. The sky was choked with ash, soot, and sulfur.
The sun, which had risen that morning on a green paradise,
was now completely blotted out.
A darkness settled over the earth, a black shroud that would not lift for months.
The global oven turned into a global freezer. By hour 24, the silence had returned.
but it was not the peaceful silence of the morning.
It was the silence of a graveyard.
The great herds were gone.
The kings of the Cretaceous lay buried under ash.
The survivors were few, small, scavenging creatures.
Terrified and confused, huddling in burrows. While the world above them turned cold and grey. The plants began to die without sunlight. The herbivores that had survived the fires now faced starvation. The carnivores, deprived of fresh meat, turned to scavenging the dead.
The toxic atmosphere rained sulfuric acid. The toxic atmosphere rained sulfuric acid.
Point poisoning the water sources.
By the 48th hour, the realization set in. The era of the dinosaurs was over.
The monsters that had ruled the planet were effectively extinct. The devastating efficiency of the impact had reset the clock.
Even if some hearts were still beating.
In the ashes of the giants, the seeds of a new world were waiting.
But for the dinosaurs,
these were the final, agonizing hours of their apocalypse.